UK markets have reacted positively to Liz Truss's policy U-turns. The interest rate on government bonds fell as the markets opened a while ago. What this means is that UK's cost of borrowing has come down and that there is now significantly more confidence in Truss's economic plans. Meanwhile, UK Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is expected to make a snap fiscal announcement later in the day. Hunt will deliver parts of his mid-term fiscal plan and highlight how he will pay for Liz Truss's mini-budget. The Chancellor's address is aimed at reassuring investors and calming the markets. Hunt spent a good part of the weekend huddling with Prime Minister Liz Truss. The two worked out a plan on how much more of the initial mini-budget will have to be scrapped to restore stability to UK's finances. He also discussed his plans with the Governor of the Bank of England and the head of the Debt Management Office. Hunt to deliver his full fiscal plan on the 31st of October. Jeremy Hunt took over the Treasury on Friday and has since been outlining a radically different fiscal approach from Truss and his predecessor Kwasi Kwarteng. Over the weekend, Hunt warned that he might raise taxes and cut spending to avoid further increase in the UK's borrowing costs. The announcement comes as analysts are closely watching how the financial markets will react to Prime Minister Liz Truss's latest policy U-turns. On Friday, Truss sacked Kwasi Kwarteng as Chancellor after the uproar against the impact of her policies on the British economy. Many reports from the United Kingdom indicate a growing discontent among Tory members against the Prime Minister. At least 3 members of Parliament have openly called for Truss to step down, and many reportedly say they will write to the 1922 committee chair Graham Brady, urging him to change the rules and hold a vote of confidence against Truss.
Thinking about it.
And for more on this, we are now being joined by WION Grant, Emeritus Professor of Politics at the University of Warwick from Leamington, United Kingdom. Professor, welcome to WION.
Hello.
Do you have confidence that the Chancellor's address will indeed reassure investors and calm the markets?
Well, the initial signs this morning from the markets are quite promising. It does seem as if the yield on gilts has dropped and the cost of servicing the government debt has dropped. So the initial signs are quite encouraging, but of course a lot will depend on the content of the statement itself and how much that reassures the markets.
Professor, the Prime Minister is facing backlash from several Tory members of Parliament. Do you think she will survive, and why is distrust in Truss growing?
Well, I think the distrust is growing because of the disastrous electoral consequences of the mini-budget, which the government is now rowing back from. But in doing that, it's losing its credibility. So there is now considerable pressure for a considerable part of the Conservative Party for her to depart. Of course, there has to be a mechanism for her to depart, and probably the thing that protects her most is the fact that there's no agreement on who a successor might be.
Professor, it looks like the Chancellor is more in charge than the Prime Minister. What say you?
Well, I think, yes, it is the case. The Prime Minister appears to be in office and not in power, and it's the Chancellor who's making all the key decisions and going to make these revisions, further revisions to the mini-budget that was announced initially when Liz Truss came into office. So she is in a very weakened position.
Professor WION Grant, thank you very much for talking to us today on WION. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.